Lying on the ground, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, expanding the lungs sideways without allowing the belly to puff up with air. Exhale slowly, feeling your organs sinking down towards your spine and your spine sinking towards the mat. Now imagine raising a glass of water in front of you. How heavy is it? 100 grams? 200 grams? 500 grams? The actual weight of this glass has no real significance. What does it matter how long you hold the glass? If you hold it for a minute, it doesn't feel heavy. If you hold it for an hour, you'll eventually start cramping up your arm. If you hold it for a whole day, your arm will probably numb up and feel paralysed. In each case, the glass weight doesn't change, but the longer you hold it, the heavier it gets. Stress and anxiety are like a glass of water. If we stress about things for a short while, nothing happens. If we think about them for a little longer, it starts to hurt. If we think about them all day, we will feel paralysed, unable to do anything. Stress is a normal part of life, and of course sometimes actually gets you out of bed in the morning. But it's important to let go of whatever stresses you. So every evening, as early as possible, put away the stress you've carried during the day. Don't carry things throughout the evening, and definitely not into the night. Remember to put down your glass of water.
Hedgehog. This is hedgehog because we are curling up in a ball using the strength of our pelvic floor and trunk muscles. But it's not like a traditional sit-up though, because this is usually involving a lot of yanking on the neck and protrusion of the belly, which serves to make, firstly, you look pot-bellied, and secondly, to weaken the pelvic area by causing a lot of build-up of pressure in the abdominal cavity. You'll also lengthen the back body, the neck, the upper back and the back of the waist all the same time. Take a look at the trapezius muscle on the anatomy diagram that I'm showing you, which comes right up into the low part of your skull, in line with the back of your ears, and radiates outwards towards each shoulder, down to the back of your waist, like a giant diamond. As you move your head forward, try it now, you're stretching that muscle all the way down to the bottom, and you may be acutely aware of that whilst you're working today. Try not to over-anticipate what is happening next, and just perform each separate action fully present in the moment, as though you had no idea what is coming next. Start by lying on your back. If you can manage it, have no pillow under your head. Have your feet flat on the floor, a comfortable distance away from your bottom. So imagine it's like two sticks leaning up against each other, perfectly balanced. The legs feel naturally positioned. Now investigate the feeling of your feet on the floor, rolling onto the outside and then the inside edges of your foot. Now spread your toes and lift them one by one, as if you've never felt your feet before in your life. This is the meditative practice of beginner's mind, and it has much to teach us all, since mostly we come into experiences wearing rose-coloured spectacles. If you're an optimist, that's the way life always looks, rose-coloured. But maybe as you are getting longer in the tooth and have all the been there done that t-shirts, your coloured spectacles are a little sludgier. You expect things to go wrong. You look at the enthusiasm of the youth and slowly nod your head. You know what way it's going to go. Whatever you bring into each new experience, you will always have these spectacles on, unless you work purposefully to take them off. So even though what we're doing is very simple today, I want you to do it with your spectacles, whatever colour they are, and there's no right or wrong, totally off, so you can see the experience and experience the experience for what it is. Think of the conversations you have with family members in which they relate to you as a person from the past. Imagine if they were hearing you now, as if you had all the extra wisdom and lots of different experiences you have under your belt. How freeing would it be to be heard as you really are today? Take your arms and interlink the fingers behind your head. See if you can open out the elbows. They may not go flat on the floor. Notice any tension in the front of the armpits and around the shoulders. Inhale, and let your head be heavy in your hands. Exhale, and at the end of the exhale, gently squeeze your pelvic floor and hold it. Inhale again, exhale, and begin to squeeze your elbows together as you gently lift the back of your head off the floor. Hold it there and feel the length coming into the whole of your upper back, radiating right to the outside edge of your shoulders. This is your trapezius muscle, remember, the huge diamond shape fanning out from the back of your neck across the shoulders and tapering down at the back of your waist. So you can see when you do things with your neck, you're affecting the whole of your upper back right down to waist level. Now inhale. Have you lost that pelvic floor contraction? Let's pick it up again after your next exhale. Then inhale again, exhale, and very slowly and smoothly with the head heavy in the hands, keep the chin deeply tucked in as you roll your neck and head back down onto the floor, slowly and smoothly. You may feel, if you're going slowly enough, that the floor has completely disappeared from underneath you. Once you land on the floor, open up your elbows and notice if they open wider and get closer to the floor without forcing them. Release the pelvic floor grip and soften the belly. Can you see how releasing the neck also opens up the external rotation in your shoulders? Draw your awareness once more to your feet. Inhale and spread the toes. Exhale and gently lift the pelvic floor a little way and push very gently into the floor with your feet, just a tad, not so as you lift your pelvis off the ground, just a pressure that begins to tilt your pelvis up. Inhale, exhale and release the pressure. Relax the pelvic floor. Inhale, and at the end of your next exhale, gently squeeze the pelvic floor at the same time, pushing through the feet so that you tilt the pelvis very slowly and smoothly upwards, the back of the waist sinking into the ground. Get to the point just before liftoff. Take an inhale, hold on to the pelvic floor. On the exhale, lift a tiny bit further so the weight is on the point just above your waist, which is feeling extraordinarily long. Hold on to the pelvic floor and keep your weight in this position. Inhale. Exhale and push your feet a little bit more on your exhale until you can feel the front of the hip flexors lengthening and your tailbone is tucked under as far as it can possibly go. You'll feel the quads engage. Notice if your knees have started to travel away from each other because your glutes are now engaged. Notice if you've lost the gentle lift of the pelvic floor. Re-engage if necessary. Inhale. Exhale and very slowly begin to lower the back into the ground, keeping the tailbone tucked under tight with no engagement of the glutes. Notice if you have to skip a vertebrae or two that can't be rolled onto the ground properly because the muscles in that low part of your back are really tight. Slowly release the buttocks if you have any hold left as you land, noticing how wonderful it feels for your back to be so released into the ground. Release the pelvic floor. Now we're going to curl up both the upper and the lower body movements, and this is where the hedgehog analogy comes into play. Inhale. Exhale and lift the pelvic floor as you begin to slowly press through the feet at the exact same speed as you did before. As you do so, bring your head up, travelling your elbows towards each other, head heavy in the hands. Try to have the upper and lower body travel exactly at the same pace. As you are pressing your elbows up towards the ceiling, ensure that the lower half only curls up as far as just above the waist, so not too high. Both halves of the body reach their maximum lift at the same time. Inhale. Exhale, and if you've lost the pelvic lift, gently lift it again, then very, very slowly roll only the bottom half of the body down. Push through the feet all the time, keeping the quads and glutes engaged now until the very last second. Ensure that you are not skipping the sensation of lowering each vertebra one at a time. Notice any difficult areas that are more rigid and more difficult to separate the vertebral experience one disc at a time. Once you've released the glutes, quads and pelvic floor, take the pressure off your feet with the back of your waist long on the ground. We're going to release the head, but not in one movement. Inhale. Exhale and just lower your head 1 centimetre and stop. Keep the chin tucked in and elbows forward for the moment. Inhale, exhale and lower another centimetre. Feel the length coming into the back of your neck and your upper back. Remember that huge trapezius diamond. Inhale, Exhale and lower another centimetre. Again, chin tucked in, feeling the radiation of those muscles going across your back. Inhale, and on the exhale, lower a little bit further. Hold it there. Feel your head is in a kind of sling and those muscles on your back body are being lengthened. It may even feel like a lovely big stretch. Inhale. Exhale and slowly lower a little bit more, allowing the elbows to open out like a flower, coming into bloom. Notice what is happening in your low back as you lower your head a tiny bit more on your next exhale. Does it feel like the floor has been taken away? Inhale. Exhale and lower. You may not have hit the ground yet. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly lower. You may want to slide your hands from underneath your head and take them out at shoulder level in a T shape. Now really experience your back. It's a really elongated spine from tailbone to the crown of your head. Maybe it feels like it's the longest it has ever been. Soften the belly. See if you can feel the rhomboids running between the spine and shoulder blades, relaxing completely. Notice how the shoulder blades are flattening into the ground, and allow your whole body now to melt like an ice cube on a hot pavement into the earth, feeling supported, feeling relaxed, feeling peaceful, and rest.
Turtle recalibration. This exercise is designed to first contract and then release and lengthen muscles in the shoulders, neck, upper and lower back. It requires concentration and coordination. First, come onto your belly. Sometimes when we come up into turtle, which is like locust in Hatha Yoga, we can be rocking the front of our body more into one hip bone, which is exacerbating a one-sided contraction in the back. We also try to lift into the back bend without having first released the front of the body, and end up pulling on the neck to achieve height. And sometimes, because our pubic bone is not anchored into the mat, we do all the work by compressing into the low back. So we're going to ensure none of those things happen, because we're going to dismantle this pose into parts and pieces and ensure each side of the body is able to work in harmony and balance. There are several parts of this. Part 1. Front body release. Place the right cheekbone on the back of your left hand. Place your right hand under your right hip bone. Inhale. Exhale and press your left elbow down into the mat. Then your right hip bone presses into your right hand. Breathe normally in this contracted position into the back body, feeling the front body tighten up. Now inhale, exhale, and slowly release that contraction, allowing the front body to expand and soften. Really let go. Let's try that one more time. Inhale, exhale, and press your left elbow down into the mat, then your right hip bone. Feel the front body contracting. Breathe into the back of your ribs. Inhale, exhale, and really slowly release the contraction, allowing the front body to expand and soften. Really let go. Now the first part of the back bend with just the elbows lifting. It's just a small lift. Inhale, exhale, and lift your elbow away from the floor. Note what muscles engage in order to allow that to happen. Exhale and slowly lower the elbow. Relax completely, remembering that the relaxation phase is as important as the contraction phase. Inhale and lift, paying particular attention to your shoulder blade, drawing it in towards your spine. Exhale and slowly lower. Inhale and lift, this time allowing your head to slightly tilt up to the ceiling. Exhale, lower and relax. Now we're going to increase the upper body lift. Keep the non-working side of the body completely relaxed. Inhale, and first lift your elbow as before. Now the hand and the head with it, as if they're glued together. Notice what part of your back is engaged now to allow this to happen. Inhale again and see if you can get a tiny bit more lift. Exhale and lower everything slowly and smoothly. Inhale and lift, squeezing your shoulder blade in towards your spine. Exhale and lower, relaxing particularly the neck fully after you've lowered to the mat. Inhale and lift. Keep checking that the other side of you remains totally relaxed. Exhale and lower. This time we're going to keep the head and hand lifted and bring the elbow down first. Then the rest of the body. Now this takes a little bit of coordination. Inhale, and keeping the other side of your body totally relaxed, lift the elbow, and keeping the hand and head together as if they're glued, lift them as before, drawing the shoulder blade toward your spine. Inhale. Now exhale and lower the elbow on its own. Once it's touched down, lower head and hand. Inhale, lift elbow, then glued hand and head. Exhale, lower elbow only, then hand and head together. Relax completely. Inhale, lift, feeling the shoulder blade engaging in your lower back. Exhale, lower, elbow, then hand and head. For the full turtle flow, we're going to lift the left upper back and the right leg together on opposite sides of the body. But we don't want the hips to be skew-whiff when this happens, as sometimes we're tighter on one side of the pelvis or the lower back, and the movement can pull us into a torqued position which feels uncomfortable. So we're going to take a moment now to release the hip on the side with the lift that will lift, and on the other side too.
We also don't want to take the full back lift via crunching in the low back, so we'll practice keeping the pubic bone pressed into the mat. Place your hands underneath the front of the pelvic bones, where you feel the bony part pressing into the floor. Now inhale and press the pubic bone into the floor. Then rock the left side of the pelvis into the left hand. Feel the lift on the right side of the pelvis. Inhale again, exhale and lower. Inhale, press the pubic down on the other side. Exhale and lower. Inhale, rock onto the other side, pressing the pubic bone in your hands. Exhale and lower. Inhale, over we go to the other side. Exhale and lower. Now the full turtle. Remember to keep your right side completely relaxed, arm down by your side, shoulder rolling into its natural position. Inhale, lift left hand, elbow, shoulder and head. Shoulder blade squeezing in. Then lift your right leg, keeping it straight, and imagine it lengthening out of your hip socket. Inhale, a tiny bit further toward the ceiling into a beautiful back bend. Exhale and slowly lower. Relax everything into the mat. Notice, by the way, if your right side had to let go of some tension at the same time, and make a mental note to keep it relaxed next time. Inhale to prepare, pressing the pubic bone into the mat. Exhale, lift and lengthen upper and lower body. Inhale and see if you can increase the height just a little without compressing the lower back. Keep the other side of the body loose. Inhale to press the pubic bone down. Exhale, lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale and inhale to lift a bit further. And finally, exhale, lower and relax completely, letting go. Turtle. Second side. This is part 2 of a 2-parted exercise, so please do part 1 before doing this side. Now we're moving on to eventually lift the right upper back and the left lower back. But first of all, we need to release the front of the body. So place your left cheekbone on the back of your right hand. Place your left hand under your left hip bone. Inhale to prepare. Exhale and press your right elbow down into the mat. Then your left hip bone presses into your left hand. Breathe normally in this contraction into the back of your ribs, feeling the front body tighten up. Inhale. Exhale and slowly release that contraction, allowing the front body to expand and soften. Really let go. And now the elbow lift with shoulder blade engagement. We're ready to take the first small lift, so inhale and just lift your elbow away from the floor. Note which muscles engage in order to have that happen. Exhale and slowly lower the elbow. Relax completely, remembering that the relaxation phase is as important as the contraction phase. Inhale and lift, placing attention on your shoulder blade this time, drawing it in towards your spine. Exhale and slowly lower. Inhale and lift, this time allowing your head to slightly tilt up to the ceiling. Exhale, lower and relax. And now the upper body lift. Keep the non-working side of the body completely relaxed and move on to inhale and lift first the elbow as before, but now the hand and head as if glued together. Come up with it, noticing what part of your back is now engaged to allow this to happen. Inhale again and lift. Exhale and slowly, slowly and smoothly lower everything toward the mat. Relax and release. Inhale and lift, squeezing the shoulder blade in towards the spine. Exhale and lower, particularly placing particular attention to your neck, releasing and relaxing fully as you lower into the mat. Inhale and lift, checking that the other side of you remains totally relaxed. Exhale and lower. This time, we're going to keep the head and the hand lifted and bring the elbow down first, then the rest of the body, which takes a bit of coordination. Inhale, and keeping the other side of your body totally relaxed, lift the elbow, and keeping hand and head together as if they were glued, lift them as before, drawing the shoulder blade toward your spine. Inhale. Exhale and lower the elbow down on its own. Once it's touched down, lower head and hand. Inhale, lift elbow, then glued hand and head. Exhale, lower elbow, then hand and head together. Relax completely. Inhale, lift, feeling the shoulder blade engaging in your upper back. Exhale, lower elbow, then hand and head. Let's just do some small hip tilts before we engage the bottom half of the body. Pop your hands underneath your hip bones and gently rock from side to side, noticing if there's any reduced range of movement on one side of the hip compared to the other. When you've done it evenly to both sides, we're going to try the full turtle, remembering to keep the left side of you completely relaxed, arm down by your side, shoulder rolling into its natural position. Inhale, lift right hand, elbow, shoulder, head, shoulder blades, squeezing in. Then lift your left leg, keeping it straight. Imagine it lengthening out of the hip socket, keeping your pubic bone pressed down into the mat. Inhale, lift further without compressing the spine in the low back region. Exhale and slowly lower. Relax everything into the mat. Notice if you had to let go of some tension in the non-working side and make a mental note to keep it relaxed next time. Inhale to prepare, pressing pubic bone into the mat. Exhale, lift and lengthen upper and lower body. Inhale and see if you can increase the height just a little without compressing low back. Keep the other side of the body loose. Inhale, exhale, and slowly lower. Inhale, press pubic bone down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lift further. Exhale, lower and relax completely, letting go. And rest.
Lie on your back with a pillow under your head for happy baby. draw the knees into the chest. Take an inhale, and on the exhale begin to roll your knees around in small circles at the same time with your hands on top of the knees. Feel the massage on your low back. Take an inhale, opening through the ribs. Belly remains still. Exhale and lift your head up, reaching through between your knees to the inside of your feet, and hook your hands over where the arch of your foot is. Fingers on the outside of the feet. Inhale. And on the exhale, slowly begin to lower your head back down to your pillow, gently opening the knees and pulling them towards your chest. The bone between your knee and your ankle is perpendicular to the floor. Your feet are in line with the knees. Don't worry if you can't reach your feet. Take hold of the ankles or even use a strap across both feet and hold either end of it. Breathing normally, notice the position of your low back, which might be lifting off the floor a little. Don't worry about that. We're not trying to keep the hips on the ground. Just allow them to go where is comfortable. You can even roll gently from side to side, just like a real happy baby would. And you can even begin to straighten the legs as you roll like this, just like a turtle on its back. If you wish, take an inhale, and on the exhale, gently pull on your hands for 30 seconds or so, not longer. You should feel that only your upper body's working at this stage. The hips are passively being opened in this position. Allowing gravity to do its work, remain still for a moment or two. Then after about 30 seconds of pulling, release the pull and allow the weight of your arms and hands to pull your knees down further. Remember, this is a breathing exercise, so notice what happens as you breathe, especially the exhalation. You might be able to soften through the hip area and allow the low back to really lengthen into the mat. Notice how having your tummy squished in this position may affect where the breath is coming into the body. Notice how it feels in the sacrum. This is a release if you have low back pain, and can sometimes shift the position of the sacroiliac joint so it's no longer compressed, and can really relieve low back pain. Very similar to the child's pose, except that we've taken the nuisance of the knees being in too acute an angle for it to work as we get older on joints that are suffering. So this is a very healthy way of getting the length into the low back area at the back of the waist. If you want a challenge and you're super flexible in the hip, take hold of your heels now. Inhale, and on the exhale, open out behind the back of the knees and draw your feet down towards your ears. Come out into the butterfly by inhaling, exhaling and bending your knees, slowly letting go of the feet. Then pressing soles of feet together, allow the knees to flop down towards the ground.
You'll feel that your low back is lifting gently off the ground. Then gently, perhaps using your hands, draw knees together. Open the feet wide and windscreen wiper your knees from side to side, drawing your femur into an internal rotation to counteract the motion of that very wide external rotation. Feel the tension across your quads as you draw the knee into the midline. Then bring the knees together and walk the feet apart. And rest here for a moment. Now let's challenge the pelvis by asking one of your hemipelvises to tilt forwards and the other to tilt backwards. You're going to need your strap for this element. Draw the knee on the right in towards the chest and wrap your strap around the ball of your foot. Not the arch of your foot, the ball of your foot. Your left leg is going to remain long along the mat. See if you can get the back of your hamstrings near to or on the floor. Now draw your right knee into a similar position as you did with Happy Baby, but it's just on one side. Notice how this side of the pelvis is rotating one way, but with the leg long, the other side is working the other way. Then when you're ready, gently open out at the back of your knee, lengthening through the hamstrings. Then inhale, and on the exhale, supporting your foot with the strap, take it out to the right. You may find that the left hip lifts, and if you're in a position to anchor it down with a bolster or somebody's hands or a sand-filled bag, then you'll be able to have more movement in the hips and not quite as much movement in the spine. Gently allow that leg to fall with gravity as far as it can out to the side, and just hold it there for a few moments. You may even be able to crawl your hand along the strap and allow it to open out a little further. Then using the strap for support, inhale, and on the exhale, draw the right knee into the chest and switch legs so that the strap goes over the ball of your left foot and the right foot lengthens. Make sure it's on the ball of your foot and not on the arch of your foot. Take an inhale, and on the exhale bring the knee out to the left, just like you did in Happy Baby. Now inhale, and on the exhale, straighten out at the back of the knee as far as your leg and your hamstring are happy to allow you to. Then keeping your opposite hip anchored if you can, or finding a way to anchor it down falsely, take an inhale, exhale, and fully lengthen your left leg out to the left, making the strap as short as you can. You may even be able to reach your foot with your hand. Now take an inhale, exhale, and draw your foot back in. So the leg comes back to the center line, and then lengthen the leg long along the mat and compare both sides of the body having done this release. Feel the opening out in the front of the hip, which is the exact opposite feeling to having the hip the leg flex in towards your body. So feel the psoas lengthening and releasing in the front of the hip. Now once more, taking the knees out to the side, bend the knees and plant your feet flat with wide feet and windscreen washer your knees to bring an internal rotation into each of the ball and socket joints of the hips. Then fully relax. Lengthening your legs long along the mat one more time, and noticing how you feel around the hip joint, the flatness of the buttocks to the floor, the flatness of the hamstring on the floor, and even at the back of the waist. Breathing naturally, quietly, and slowly. Journey into inner truth, creativity, and resourcefulness. Settle yourself down now into a comfortable position. Take a couple of lovely oxygen-enhancing breaths deep into the side ribs, holding for a moment to pause between the breaths, focusing on the sensation of peace and relaxation as you exhale. Imagine that you're preparing yourself for a wonderful night's sleep and snuggle yourself up now. As your conscious mind drifts off, your intuitive inner consciousness switches on as you begin now to feel more relaxed and comfortable, moving on and on beyond time and space. You may feel sleepy as you go deeper and deeper into this restful space, allowing distractions to drift away as your inner self becomes more focused, wanting to explore a journey of intuition and wisdom that is growing inside you day by day. You are becoming aware of an expanded state of awareness in the mind as the body becomes very still, and you move deeper and deeper into a state of relaxation. Every breath is more soothing than the next. Every exhale takes you into a state of letting go. Letting go completely, letting go of worries and thoughts, letting go into a deeper awareness of yourself, which is beyond this time and this space, allowing your conscious mind to relax completely, to give rise to your inner being, which is welling up now as you relax, safe and sound, and travel into this deeper awareness of your inner being. Sensations of tranquility and well-being are surrounding you now as you move within this deepening state of inner awareness into a sense of lightness, floating above your body now and looking down at your still body, lying relaxed and calm. Going deeper and deeper, letting go, floating and light. At the center of the universe there is a castle. It's your castle. See it clearly now, its proud turrets and towers. Maybe there are flags waving in the breeze. What colour? What size? How many? Flying happily in the summer breeze against a deep blue sky. Is your castle small or large? Is it made of simple rocks, or precious stones, or fancy carvings? See the colours of your castle, its beauty. Smell the fragrance in the air around your castle and sense its tranquility. Be assured that it's more beautiful than any human can build, with attention to detail all around its nooks and crannies. Move toward the door of your castle now. This is your door of truth, leading to the hall of self-acceptance and self-knowledge and understanding. This castle contains everything you need. Stand at the door and look up at the detail of it now. What colour? What size? What type of knocker? You're carrying a bag, or is it a rucksack? Inside are representations of the things you fear, your imposter syndrome, your sense of not being good enough. You're going to leave that behind as you enter your castle. Are there any last bits and pieces in your pockets that need turning out, that you may be holding on to? A sense of guilt or shame? Any negative thought patterns you rehearse day and night, especially when things get dark? They do not belong in your castle, so leave them behind. As you lay those things on the ground, say to yourself, I am free from guilt. I am free from self-hatred. I am free from shame. I am free from limitations. I am worthy of the full truth of my deep inner wisdom and talent. I am here for a purpose. I am chosen. I am wanted. I am needed. I know my worth. As you enter into the hallway of acceptance and understanding, you feel a great sense of sanctuary about this awesome palace. There is even a temptation to curtsy, bow, or make the sign of the cross as if coming reverently to an altar. You know this place is special and contains many hidden wisdoms and insights. Respect the presence of that holy wisdom now. This holy being is you. From high in the ceiling, a shaft of light transforms the centre of the hallway. It's shimmering light, showing the way to a room off the hallway that contains a great throne, magnificent in its stature, with all manner of plush additions and intricacies. The throne room has a glass ceiling, and the sun is shining directly down to the throne. On the very tall throne, there are words. On the top of the back of the throne it is written, I am, very prominently. There are 7 steps of light leading up to the throne, which is drawing you toward it now. You step up the steps of light, every one brighter than the last, and alight onto your throne. The seat envelops you. You have never felt more safe and secure. You have never felt more elegant and sure of yourself. In this moment, your creative mind is alight with life and ideas. You know that these ideas are all part of the practical purpose of your life on earth. They are divine tasks. As you sit on your divine throne, your still small voice within you speaks with clarity. I bear the fruit of truth in all areas of my life. My creativity is God-given. My life has purpose. I know who I am. You remain on your throne for some time with an ever-increasing sense of empowerment and richness, a sense of being a leader in your life and in the lives of others, the controller, the creator. The sense of divine touches deep within you. And now it's time to leave this place. But you can always return to your castle whenever you need to reawaken your sense of purpose and the truth of your being. As you arise from the throne now, there is a sense of thanks for all you have received, all that is certain, all that is real. You feel transformed, somehow lighter. You have become unburdened with all that is unnecessary and unhelpful. This gives you a feeling of rising and lifting up out of the throne room as you are able to glide upwards out beyond the glass ceiling, ascending up and up, rising into the truth of who you really are in a state of wide awareness. Fully alert, you are bringing with you the wonderful sense of gratitude for this knowing. As you become more conscious, more awake, you are certain of who you are and why you are here. Allow yourself to feel your body once more. Deliberately deepen your breath to draw oxygen into the tissues. Do whatever feels luxurious and comforting right now to wake your joints and muscles up ready for the rest of the day ahead. With a newfound sense of dignity and purposefulness, such that you are not going to sweat the small stuff anymore. Namaste.